Hello and welcome to Community Corner. I'm your host, Kristen Maddox, Public Information Officer for the School District of Indian River County. And today we have Vero Beach High School Band with us, Mr. Paige Howell, and our head drum major. Would you introduce yourself, please?
I'm Julian Sweetland.
Welcome. Thanks for being here, guys. So we've asked them to come today to talk about a couple of very important things going on for Vero Beach High School this year. One of them being Crown Jewel, which is next month.
Yep, October 13th.
October 13th. And the other one, the big thing, is London, which you guys are going to for New Year's in January,
Right.
correct?
Yep, we will be performing in the London New Year's Day Parade.
Awesome. Well, let's start with the first thing coming up. Let's talk a little bit about Crown Jewel. Tell us, how many years now has Crown Jewel been going on?
This will be the 37th Crown Jewel.
37th. And how many bands are we expecting this year?
Right now we have 17.
17.
And I'm expecting maybe to pick up another band or two. 17's kind of the nice number where it's plenty, but it's not that it's not a super long day. But we have 17 confirmed groups, so I'm thinking we'll have 18 or 19 total, maybe.
Okay. So tell us what a typical Crown Jewel day looks like.
Well, it starts really early. And we'll start about 9:15 is when I think right now on the schedule when the first band will go. And we had the preliminary round and then we had the final round. And out of those 17 bands, 12 of them will advance to the final round. And so we run a band every 15 minutes. And the finals will start about 6:30 that night. They actually will have the combined Storm Grove Middle, Oslo Middle, and Gifford Middle will do the national anthem at about 6 o'clock, and then we'll start. And then the Vero Band is an exhibition because you don't compete at your own contest, and that'll be at the end of the night. And so there are 4 classes in the preliminary round, and there's a winner in each class, and then there are 12 that move on, and then this year we'll have 3 divisions in finals, and then there will be 1 overall grand champion for the final round.
Great. Now, these bands, did they all come from the state of Florida?
Yes. It's been a long time since we've had somebody from out of the state, but it does, some bands from southern Georgia will come down. But we've got a pretty good geographic representation. I mean, coming from Brevard all the way down to Broward County. And then we've got like Lakeland will be here. Sebastian will be here this year. And so, I mean, it's a good spread. We have 1 band coming from all the way over on the West Coast. So it's a good spread. We would like to have some out-of-state bands, but it's a long trip, to come all the way down here.
Now, I remember there being some bands that were very, very small, and then we have some bands that are just huge, like Sebastian's band, for example. So give us an example of like a size of one of the smaller bands compared to Sebastian River High School.
We have in the bronze class, which is the smaller ones, we have, I think, about a 30-piece band. And then the largest size is 190, 200. Sebastian is bringing their contest marching band, which I think he's got about 160 in that. We actually, this year, we have more large bands than we do small bands, which is it's kind of 5 years ago it was a different story, but things have kind of changed a little bit. So the platinum class, I think we have like 5 or 6 bands, which is the largest. Platinum's the largest. We have about 5 or 6 bands in that class. So we should have a good crowd.
Great. Now, do you know who the judges are this year, and where do you find the judges?
Well, one thing that makes our contest a little bit different than some of the other ones around the state is I try to get a very diverse panel of judges. I try to get some current high school band directors. I try to get someone that's a college level band director, and then we try to get someone from the kind of the DCI, which is Drums Corps International, or that group that are show designers. That there are people out there, that's all they do for a living is write halftime shows for bands and drum corps. So I try to get some, diverse. And so this year I have Dr. Jim Smysick from the Seminole State College up in Sanford is coming down to judge. Adam McIntyre is the band director at Matanzas up in St. Johns County. For me, exciting, my high school band director, who just retired from North Carolina, will be down here judging. And so we've got a good panel. We have Dan Dubé, who is the band director at Blake School of the Arts and over in Tampa. And then his wife, Melanie Dubé, is going to judge drum majors, and she's actually was a Vero drum major as well.
Yes, I was a drum major with
Yes.
Melanie. I
Yep.
remember that.
Yep. And they've been they've judged Crown Jewel several times. So it's a good mix, I think, of people.
Great. A lot of people who aren't in marching band, they don't realize the work that's put into these shows before they compete. I know that you guys are involved with the centennial celebration for the city of Vero Beach this year, and your show sort of revolves around that idea. So have you been doing a little bit more each halftime show, or is the show complete now?
Well, we have all the drill learned.
Okay.
And this is the earliest we've ever had it out on the field, and that's due to, knock on wood, we've had the best weather we've had in years. Knock on wood.
Right.
So we've got all the drill out there. The color guard, hopefully tomorrow night, they'll be wearing their uniform for the first time, and the actual flags that they're going to be using. So we've kind of been bringing stuff, and so it'll change a little bit as we go. I mean, there'll be some new visuals added and some sound effects and things like that. But we try to bring it out in stages. That gives
Right.
the audience something different each week. But by Crown Jewel, we'll have the whole package there. And then on October 26th, that's when the official, at halftime of that game, is the official start of the Vero Centennial. And it starts at halftime with the band, and the committee will be there. And so they're doing a year-long thing, and every month there's something different for the
Right.
Centennial.
Right, and we're really excited because the school district is very involved in that
Yes.
celebration this year, whether it's the
Yes.
tree dedications at our schools or our marching band, and that's just so cool to be a part of that and to have our students realize, what a big deal this is for our city and how being involved is so important. So, like I was saying, back in the early 2000s, I was a drum major for the band, and I know what you must be feeling right now and going through with all these exciting things coming up. And tell us a little bit about yourself. Is this your first year as drum major? Or?
Yeah, this will be my first year. I'm a junior, so I've got a couple more years to go, but this is my first year, and my other two drum majors, we're doing pretty good. For the show, there's specifically 3 parts, and each part is dedicated to a different part of Vero, so it's pretty interesting, and we're having a lot of fun with it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So are the other two drum majors, are they sophomores or seniors?
They'll be seniors, yeah.
They're okay, awesome. And how do you feel like, how's the progress with the band going? Do you feel like you're at a good point right now to be ready for Crown Jewel?
Yeah, we're actually at a really good point. We've been cleaning drill for the past weeks, and we've got everything already on the field, so it's going really well.
That's great, because
Yeah.
I remember, like Mr. Howell was saying, when in the past, it's always been terrible weather time up to Crown Jewel. We were always battling the rain and conditions after school trying to practice, and it was just like last minute trying to tie everything together to have it ready for the show.
Yeah.
Well, before we stop talking about Crown Jewel, just tell everyone, do you know what the ticket prices are?
I know. I think they're $14, and you can buy them at the gate, and then they will eventually on our website, crownjewelvb.com. You can do online sales as well.
Okay.
But it's one ticket that gets you through the whole day. We do have like a $6 youth ticket, I think, as well. And like I said, we'll start about 9:15 on that morning, and prelim awards is like at 3:30, and then finals will start about 6 and go till we're done.
Okay, and is there a special ticket they can buy just for finals?
No,
it's the all-day ticket.
It's an all-day ticket. Yeah.
Okay, and concessions are still available all day?
Concessions are available all day long, and I mean, it's not just pizza. I mean, we'll have big grilling pizza and Chick-fil-A. So we have a lot there. I mean, you can come and spend the whole day.
Right, and I know, I just want to give a shout out to the band parents, because as long as I can remember, they have just been such an underlying support for making Crown Jewel work. And I know all day, not only are the students who will be performing that night working and volunteering all day, the band parents are here too, just running around like ants on golf carts and making sure that everything is running smoothly.
And they will start after the home football game is over that night before. They will work into the night and then be back at wee hours of the morning and go till wee hours at night. I mean, it's a long, long day. But it's, you know, one of the most rewarding things I think we do as a band program. And, you know, it's good for the kids because they get to see what it takes to put something on.
Definitely, yeah.
You know,
All the
big
hard
like
work
that.
that's
Yeah.
involved.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So.
Well, that's awesome. Now, moving on to January, I know a few months back we had the Lord Mayor of Westminster, and he came here to the PAC. And tell us a little bit about what he did when he came.
Well, he presented us with an invitation to perform in the London New Year's Day Parade. And so we've accepted that, and we leave December 27th, and the kids will get to spend about a week in London, and we'll do the parade performance, and they'll get to go and see a lot of different things while we're there. This will be the first time the Vero Band has ever been overseas. And the first time since the 1970s they've ever performed out of the country. They went back in the 70s, went to Mexico City. So this is a big deal. Right now we're taking about 100 kids over there, and so it's we're going to have about, I think, 130 in the total travel party. So it's exciting. Things are starting to kind of move fast with it now, and you know, we're kind of in the last stages of trying to raise money and so forth. So it's you know, it's exciting.
Great. Well, what are some of the different things that you'll be able to do besides the parade? Because the parade will be on New Year's Day, correct?
That's correct, yes.
And that's through the city of Westminster?
That's correct. It actually starts at the Ritz Hotel, the famous
Okay.
Ritz Hotel, and it goes down through Piccadilly Circus and then Trafalgar Square, and then it ends at Parliament right by Big Ben.
Wow.
And so the kids are going to get to go, and one of the cool things about this is they get a little MP4 player that has these self-guided audio tours on it. And so there's, you know, all through Westminster, they get to, in the South Bank, which is a neat place. We're going to go out to Oxford. They're going to get to go to Oxford for a day. And then they're going to get to go to one of the palaces, the Queen's Summer Palace, which my brain's not working right now, but they'll get to see that. They'll get to go by Big Ben. Unfortunately, Big Ben right now is covered in scaffolding.
Oh, okay.
Which the scaffolding is impressive. We actually went this summer, Mr. Putsky and I, and you can see one clock face. So it's being renovated. So. And they'll get to go to Greenwich. We're actually going to take a boat ride down the River Thames to Greenwich. So they're going to get to, see a lot of different things and experience a lot of different things. It'll be cool. Some of the kids, this will be the first time ever going out of the state of Florida or going out of the United States.
Right. Is this the first time for you to leave the United States?
I went with my family a couple of years ago. We went to London as like a family trip, so this will be my second time, but I haven't done anything that the band is going to be doing, so it's going to be really fun.
Awesome. Well, maybe
Yeah.
you'll remember a few places and get to show some people around. So I remember when we went to Hawaii, I was in 9th grade, and a lot of our training, if you will, for the parade route involved laps and laps and laps around the stadium. Have you guys started that yet?
We'll be going around the parking lot. We usually
Okay.
just circle the parking lot again and again, getting our lines right, and we haven't started that yet, but hopefully we will soon.
I think the week after Crown Jewel is when we're going to start.
You go into parade mode.
Yeah, yeah,
Right.
Yeah, and then once we kind of get past our FBA marching band assessment, we'll start really focusing on with the parade. And I think the parade's about a little over a mile. It's not too long, but it'll be, they say the television audience is like 600 million people.
Right.
And the live, I mean, there'll be somewhere over 500,000 people in attendance at so it'll be the largest audience we've ever had.
Right. And I know you can follow the New Year's Parade group on social media, and we'll make sure that we provide that information to our viewers.
And hopefully hopefully one of the local stations will broadcast the parade.
Absolutely.
And that's something that they're trying to do. The London New Year's Day Parade is trying to do. So, but it's, and we're excited. And like I said, we went for the inspection this summer, and basically went to a lot of the different places the kids are going to go to. And it's a once in a lifetime thing.
Right. Well, just to finish up, tell our viewers about some of the fundraising efforts, what they can do, where they can go to help you guys.
Well, the big thing that's coming up is Monday night at Cap's Pizza. They're having a Vero night, and part of the proceeds is going towards the trip. That's the next big thing that's coming up. At any football game, we'll have band members with buckets taking up collections, and then if you go to the band website, you just Google search Vero Beach High School Band. There's a link on there on how to donate, and you can donate as much as you want on that website, and that's kind of the best way to do it right now. And then the Spirit Night out at Cap's Pizza on Monday, and that's great pizza. So,
absolutely. You can't beat Cap.
No.
And you have a texting capability to donate too.
Right, and that information is on on our website. You can text to that, and at the football games on the big jumbotron, it flashes up there the number that you text to.
Awesome. Now, will some of the proceeds from Crown Jewel go toward that trip?
No, that Crown Jewel pays to operate the band.
Okay.
That's it's believe it or not, it takes a lot, especially for the halftime show alone this year, for the drill, the music, the percussion, and the guard choreography. I mean, we've spent close to $13,000 on that, and it believe it or not, a lot goes into that, and then just operating the band. So
Right.
that's Crown Jewel kind of takes care of that. All the London fundraising has been extra. So.
Well, thank you guys both so much for being here today, and I hope it brings some attention to the band, and I hope that everyone can come out to Cap's Pizza and go onto the website and text and do whatever you can to support our Vero Beach High School band and these amazing students and help them get to London for the New Year's Day Parade. Thanks for being here today. Our next guest will be talking about Lagoon Days at the School District of Indian River County. The School District of Indian River County is active and adding followers daily on social media. Wondering what's going on in our district? Do you want to see pictures and videos of our teachers and students doing amazing things and keep up to date with news, events, and hot topics? Follow us. On Twitter, search for @IRC Schools, and for Facebook, @School District of IRC. Are you looking for a way to access our school board meetings from home? Find us on our district YouTube channel, youtube.com/School District of Indian River County. You can also view video segments of exciting community events that have taken place in our district. Tune in to Comcast Channel 28 and AT&T UVerse Channel 99 to view district news regarding course registration, event information, transportation, and school news. Hello and welcome back to Community Corner. I'm your host, Kristen Maddox, Public Information Officer for the School District of Indian River County. I'm here today with Mr. Pat Heiser, and he is going to be telling us a little bit about a day in the life of the Indian River Lagoon. So first of all, tell us what you do for the school district.
Well, my position with the school district is a district science specialist. And a lot of what I do with my position is help instructors and students in the area of science, more geared towards secondary education.
Awesome. So what is the Day in the Life program all about?
Last year, we received some information from the coordinator of the program, and she was looking for students and teachers to be involved in a opportunity for them to do some real life science. And with that opportunity, I was able to work with a lot of our teachers to see how many would be interested in doing this.
So how many different schools and teachers does this involve?
Within our school district, we have approximately 10 schools, around 10 to 12 teachers, and probably a couple hundred students. So, and it's wide range. It goes from elementary all the way up through high school that are involved in the program.
Now, how are the students and teachers selected? Are the students in some sort of a club at this school?
The way it ended up working out was first trying to get teachers that would be interested in doing this, and it was more a selection of teachers that wanted to do it, because in order to do the program, they've had a lot of training. Part of the idea was to be able to do real life science, and the teachers actually are working with environmental partners to make this program work too, to make sure that they're doing good science. And getting the teachers was the most important thing, and we got teacher volunteers with doing the program because there was a lot of stuff that they needed to do after school, and actually even during the summer. We had a workshop over the summer for the teachers where we actually went out to the Indian River Lagoon, and they actually did all the testing for October 4th, for the day that they'll be going out.
So what sort of testing are they doing?
What they're trying to do is divide up into 4 basic areas. Biology, and in that they'll be actually seining in the lagoon, taking fish, the samples that are in the lagoon, and try to identify what they are, and if not, at least take pictures of it. With their environmental partners, hopefully they'll be able to figure that out. In any other live specimens that they can pull out, and of course they'll put them back into the lagoon. They won't be collecting anything. They'll take water samples, dissolved oxygen, pH, salinity, and a couple other parameters within the water quality. They'll also do air temperature, a little bit of plant identification, what species are around the area. So it's to give the snapshot of what the lagoon is that particular day, and what parameters or readings they get that day.
Now, is this in any type of response to the algae bloom?
No, it's actually not. It's been a program that actually came from New York, state of New York. They did a very similar program with high school students and elementary and middle schools. And the idea of the program, when they take these readings, they'll actually, within a couple weeks, they have a couple weeks, actually put this onto a website that's open for anyone that wants to be able to use the information. You know, whether it's scientists or students or those that involved in decision makers within the community can use it too.
So there's a possibility that some of what they're doing could be used to help in that issue.
Oh, absolutely. And not only that, we're hoping that this is kind of a yearly thing that we'll do. We're hoping that maybe there may be some of these, once they do testing, that some of the students may find something to do as a science fair project, as well as kind of hopefully looking at the overall health of the lagoon.
Now, do they receive any type of training before they go out there?
Yeah, no, what happens, each of the teachers that have been trained, now they're back at the schools, and each school has a little different way that they're training their kids to be able to be ready for October 4th. And they all have different ways. Some of them are doing them after school with a little club. Others are actually doing it as part of their curriculum in the classroom. So it just depends on the teacher and how they want to best utilize their time to be able to promote it.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about the different locations on the lagoon that they'll be at.
Right. So what we've been very fortunate to be able to do is to all the different schools have picked out different places along the Indian River Lagoon in Indian River County. Starting at the Sebastian Inlet, Sebastian River High School is going to be up there. Riverside Park, there's a couple of schools at Riverside Park. Also up in Sebastian, at the park up there, that's right there along the river, going down to Round Island Park, all the way in South County. So each school has picked kind of a different location to do their sampling at. The other really interesting thing is we're just a small part of a day that's actually being done throughout the whole Indian River Lagoon, from Volusia County all the way down to Jupiter Inlet. I think there's a grand total of about 33, 34, 35 schools and environmental partners all the way up and down the lagoon that's doing this project. So it's not just Indian River.
So this should definitely bring some attention to the lagoon and hopefully show people, you know, our next generation out there testing the waters, trying to take care of it, and hopefully make some people who can make decisions take action and helping us clean up our lagoon.
Right. The positive impact from this, especially for our students, to me, that was an awesome thing that we're doing, to have them given an opportunity from elementary all the way up to high school to actually get out into the lagoon and see it firsthand. And who knows, hopefully some of these students will end up being scientists and working on the problems that we do have with the Indian River Lagoon.
Absolutely. Now, I know a couple of years ago when I was teaching in the classroom, I went to ELC with my students, and that was one of just our favorite field trips all year, to go out there. And they were able to go to different stations and learn to do different things. And you mentioned seining. And the first year I went out there, I thought, what on earth is seining? So tell us a little bit about what seining is.
All right. So seining is a way to take a net. It's a long net that you pull through the river, through the lagoon. And when you pull through and bring it up to shore, hopefully you've pulled some wildlife out of the river lagoon, and with that, what the students will be asked to do, which is kind of interesting, they actually have to record how many times they seine and move that net through the river, how long that is, record the actual net size, so that they can quantitatively identify how many different things they actually do. The day that we went out, I actually went out with the teachers in the summertime when we actually did that. And we were over by the causeway, Wabassa Causeway. And I'll tell you, it was really interesting because that area is a lot of seagrass, beautiful. We pulled up a lot of stuff. So it's kind of neat because there are some areas in our lagoon, a lot of people are thinking, our lagoon is, polluted and not healthy. And contrary to popular belief, there are some areas and pockets where we do have some issues, but there's a lot of spots in our lagoon that are still very healthy. So that's another aspect of this whole trip and this whole idea. Hopefully that, especially with our high school kids, that they're able to compare different locations as part of their group. I know that at Vero Beach High School, those students that are going are actually environmental science students. So, like I said, and every school is doing something a little different and what kind of students actually go. So, there's some very interesting educational opportunities for our students that are doing this particular activity.
So I would imagine at each location, like you said, there would be varying results.
Yes.
Give us an idea maybe in your head of two different locations where they might pick up very different results on opposite ends of the spectrum, maybe as far as water temperature or what they're finding in the water, pollution, that sort of thing.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting because, days going in and out, that's kind of a hard question to answer because even with tides coming in and out, it's amazing what goes in, and that's actually one of the things that the students will be doing. They'll actually look at whether the tide is going in and out, how high the tide actually is, because that does actually affect the water quality and the temperature of the water depending on where it's coming from. Closer you get to the Sebastian Inlet, you've got the ocean coming in and out with higher salinities, and it tends to flush out that brackish water much easier. But if you get to some places like Riverside Park, where you're a long way from either inlet, the inlets,
Right.
you probably find more, possibility of, let's say, water that maybe not as fresh and as clean and in those areas as you would be towards the Sebastian Inlet.
Would that be because of the flow of the water?
A lot of it is that, but there's some other factors involved with that too. You've got, boating and boats going through, and also the amount of human activity that there is right there wherever we're at too, or wherever the site is. That's another possibility of some differences in water quality and in the lagoon.
So will the teachers and the students, will they all go out at the same time? Are there days where just the teachers will go?
Well, the way the October 4th day will work is that most of the teachers will take their students out at around 9:30, and then they'll actually field trip out to the site and stay out till about 1 o'clock, and then they'll go back to school. So it's about a half a day field trip. We figured that would be ample time for pretty much everyone to do it. So everybody's going to be taking the reading on that day. Some will take them earlier in the morning, some later in the morning, but pretty much within that 9:30 to 1 o'clock time frame is when they'll be taking readings.
And who else will be in the water with our teachers and students kind of guiding the process?
Depending on where they're at, some schools have a small number where it's just the teachers and the students because their ratios are real small. Other places, they literally do have parent chaperones going out with the students. Also, there are environmental partners that are going out, adults that will also be with the students and the teachers. So it's for an exciting day that day with those students being able to work with the environmental partners and teachers to collect all the readings and samples for the day.
Absolutely. Well, is there anything else that you can add for us about the Lagoon Days?
I'm really excited about the opportunity for our students to have some hands-on experience and hands-on activities that can carry beyond October 4th. The goal, hopefully, is to make this a yearly event, and that teachers and students will be able to use this data for classroom instruction and be able to really maybe to be some real service for our community.
Right, and we both know, being teachers, that there's nothing better than a hands-on experience, and you can look at pictures and read about it all day in the classroom, but to actually get your hands in the water and pick up these creatures and learn to do new things is just amazing for some students that might not otherwise have that opportunity.
Absolutely, and there's a number of our teachers that are looking at as a great opportunity for some of our students that really don't have that kind of an opportunity to get out and do something like this, because it's a unique experience that provides a lot of instruction as well as community service.
Right. Well, thank you so much for being here with us today and telling us about a day in the life. And everyone, thank you for tuning in to Community Corner. I'm Kristen Maddox. Have a great day.